Today, we'll be doing a review of the Hisense U6G. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. We bought and tested the 65-inch model, and we expect the other sizes to perform similarly. This TV is more or less the successor to the Hisense R6090G. The U6G has a pretty standard design typical of other Hisense. The stand is a bit less wide than the TV and it feels solid. It's also tall enough that you should be able to fit a soundbar underneath it without a problem. The inputs are located on the left-hand side, and the 4 HDMI 2.0 ports allow you to connect a variety of devices. One of the ports also supports eARC, or audio return channel, that you can connect to your receiver or soundbar to play sound from the TV through your external speakers. The back of the TV fits the VESA mount standard, so you can wall mount it for a cleaner look, and it has a pretty typical thickness, so it will stick out a bit. The build quality of the TV is decent, again, pretty standard for an entry-level TV. It's made of mostly plastic and a bit of metal on the back. It does feel a bit cheap with some flex near the inputs. Now, onto our test results, and we'll start with the contrast. A high contrast ratio means that you'll see deep, dark scenes, which is good if you want to watch movies in a dark room like a home theater environment. The U6G performs well with a VA panel, so dark scenes appear deep and inky. Local dimming is a feature to further improve dark scenes for a better movie watching experience, but unfortunately on this TV, it's limited by the algorithm that doesn't help much to improve the perceived contrast. Depending on the content you're watching, it can either be too bloomy or it looks like it might not be doing anything at all. If you want to use the TV in a bright room, then a high peak brightness is important to overcome glare and to make the image really pop. The U6G gets more than bright enough to handle SDR content. However, it can't produce bright highlights in newer high dynamic range or HDR content. If you don't care too much about a brighter image, then this might be fine. Also, important for a bright room is good reflection handling. You can see that the U6G handles reflections well, though for the best experience, you'll want to leave the TV in a dark room or with minimal light sources. If you've got a wide seating arrangement or like to watch TV with family and friends, then good viewing angles help to ensure no one's left out with washed out colors or crushed details. Unfortunately, on the Hisense, the image quality drops noticeably when viewed off angle, so the image is really only best from directly in front. An overall uniform screen brightness and color is important when watching sports or playing video games to avoid the appearance of clouding, known as the dirty screen effect. This does vary between units, but we expect the U6G we bought to be about typical. It's good overall, but the bottom edges are noticeably darker. In really dark scenes, the black uniformity is better, so there aren't really any distracting bright areas, which is nice. A lot of people care that a TV has good colors, and rightfully so. In the case of this U6G, the TV can display deep saturated greens, reds, and blues. This is great for those who like an image with more saturated colors or for watching high dynamic range content on streaming services or locally. Some TVs struggle to display smooth gradients, which can be seen when watching content that slowly shifts from one color to another, such as a sunset where some banding can be visible. In the case of this TV though, it isn't an issue with great gradient performance, and there's also an extra noise reduction and digital noise reduction setting, but we weren't able to notice any differences in real content. When playing video games, a fast response time is important for the clearest image without distracting blur. The Hisense U6G has a good and fast response time overall, but some blur or smearing may be noticeable in dark scenes. Unlike the Hisense U8G and H9G, this TV does not have any of the red ghosting that they are notorious for having. A low input lag is also important for a responsive feel when playing video games, and thankfully, this TV is great in this regard. It only has a 60Hz panel though, so for extremely smooth and responsive higher refresh rate gaming, it isn't a good choice. Speaking of gaming, this TV supports all of the common signals up to 60Hz, which is fine for casual gamers, but for a more responsive experience with a new Xbox or PS5, it isn't the best choice. The U6G does not support variable refresh rates though, which can cause tearing when gaming. Like other Hisense TVs, this one uses the Android TV platform. It's relatively easy to use and is smooth to maneuver through the menus. Hisense has decided not to follow Sony to Google TV for now, but the improvements over the years with Android TV still make it a fast and enjoyable experience. The sound of this TV is decent and about typical of many TVs. Unfortunately, good sound doesn't tend to be much of a focus for TVs, so if this is something you care about, then an external soundbar or speaker system would likely be better. So this brings us to the main question: should you buy this TV? Well, it scores quite high on our test bench and has a good overall picture, but it's missing some key features in many other 2021 TVs, such as HDMI 2.1, variable refresh rates, and eARC. It's also unable to remove judder from 60p or 60i sources, which could make some content more distracting. If you're on a budget and don't care at all about gaming, this TV is definitely worth the purchase. If you're looking for a similar range of features and picture quality, you should consider the TCL R635, or for a model with 120Hz support and HDMI 2.1, the higher-end Hisense U8G.